Hey guys, it's Lindsay here with my favorite quilt store, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a outfit for your porch goose. Porch geese are very in right now, so I have about probably 5 or 6 of them, and I make outfits for them all the time. So I wanted to come on and show you guys how to make a basic outfit that you can do with very little materials and a very easy tutorial. For this project, you'll need about a half yard of material. So I'm using Happy Go Lucky in the Blossom color. It's a print by Tula. It's got little bunnies on it. It's very cute, very vibrant. I figured it'd be cute for summer. You're gonna need some elastic. I think I have about a 1/4 inch elastic right here. You can use probably about a 1/2 inch. I wouldn't go bigger than a 1/2 inch, but anything smaller will work. You can even use ribbon. This is going to be for the neck part of your goose, and then you can use trim or ribbon or anything like that for the bottom edge to finish it if you'd like. That's totally optional, but I just wanted to mention it. So I'm gonna put my goose to the side real quick and then we'll get started. Okay. If I go past 135, tell me. Okay?
Me?
Yes.
What, 135? Oh, at the time.
Yeah, I gotta leave it like
Okay.
max
We'll do
by
it.
2. So I just want to make sure that I'm wrapping up.
Yeah.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to square up the edge of my fabric real quick. Not super important, but you can do it if you want. I'm going to have to go around the side for this one. I am just going to trim up my fabric here. I'm just going to trim up my fabric here. You don't have to do this step, it's a habit that I do because you are going to finish off the edge at the end. So what we're going to do here is we are going to cut 15 inches by width of fabric. So we're going to come down here to 15. This doesn't have to be super precise. Okay, so your first cut is 15 inches by width of fabric. I'm going to put that to the side. Next, I'm going to make my bow. I usually do about 3.5 inches by maybe 24. So I'm just going to cut. So for my bow, it's about 3.5 inches. Oops. You can probably get 2 bows out of this, so this goes down to 22, but most of the time I'm just going to come over here, chop the end off, and now I have 2 bows. You can also probably get, I think I had a yard of fabric, so you can get about 2 outfits out of a yard, or 1 out of half yard. Now I'm going to measure the neck of the goose. I don't have a measuring tape with me, so I'm just going to take my elastic, take off off its little bow. Measure the widest part of the neck. And then I'm going to add about 2 or 3 inches and give that a cut. You can always cut more, so the more the merrier. If it's too short, you can't add any more. So I just like to cut a little bit extra. So we've got that done. All right, so I've got the bodice part laid out here on the mat. What you can do is take it, spread it out. You can press about 1.5 inches, 2 inches down if you'd like, or you can just eyeball it, finger press, whatever you prefer. I don't have an iron right here with me, so I am not going to iron today. I usually would. And then you're going to sew probably about 1/2 inch down from the top. And then you're going to make a channel for your elastic to go through. So you're going to do 1/2 inch from the top, and then maybe about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch from the bottom of your seam here, all the way across. The bottom, you can either serge the edge of the bottom, which I typically like to do, or we can fold that over about 1/2 inch, and then we're going to stitch that with a 1/4 inch seam from the bottom. All right, so now we're going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew about 1/4 inch from the bottom of where my fabric is. And just feed it all the way through. Again, you can pin this if you like, but it does not have to be precise at all. Here I'm going to back stitch again. Alright, so I have my first stitch done. Now I'm going to go from the top and do about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch in from the top. Again, back stitching when I start and stop. And feeding it all the way through. Okay, there you have it. You've created the channel for your elastic to go through right here. Now you're going to take it over to the bottom. You're going to fold that over about 1/2 inch. And then you're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Back stitching when you start and stop. Feeding it all the way through, all the way across. 3 of those stitches sewn. Then you're going to take it, fold it in half with the fabric, and you're going to sew along the selvage. You're going to leave an opening in that channel that you created so you can slip the elastic all the way through the end and then all the way down, 1/4 of an inch, or enough to get your selvage off if you have that selvage there. So I'm just going to sew on that selvage line so that I can get rid of that and it's not seen on the outside of the dress. Back stitching, stop at the channel, back stitch again, pick up my presser foot, slide it through to the end of the channel, drop it down, back stitch, and go all the way through. Back stitch at the end. Cut that thread. And we are done with that part. We're going to move on to sewing the bow. So you're going to get your piece of fabric that you did for the bow. It works great if you press it out a little bit. Mine has been folded in a drawer for a minute, so we're just going to work with it the best that we can. We're going to fold that in half, like so. And sew along that open edge. Starting here, we're going to sew along the selvage. So all the way down, leaving a gap in the middle, about 1 inch or 2, and then all the way around the edge again. When you get about 1/4 inch of the way down, you're going to put your needle down, lift your presser foot, turn your bow, line that up, and continue stitching. I'm about halfway now, so I am going to back stitch, pick my presser foot up, slide it down about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, put that down, continue sewing. Alright, same thing when you get to this other edge, you're going to put the needle down, lift up your presser foot, turn, and sew all the way to the end. Don't forget to back stitch so your corners will not come undone. Now we're going to take our bodice of our goose dress. We're going to feed our elastic through the channel. Today I'm just using a safety pin through my elastic. I'm going to do that about 1 inch or 2 down because sometimes I feel like the elastic breaks and you get it lost in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take the safety pin, feed it through one end of my channel. Make sure you're not slipping it through the part of the dress, that you're actually slipping it through the channel. We're going to feed that all the way through, making sure not to let go of the other end of the elastic. Almost to the end. And it comes out the other side. I like to just tie off my ends. You can definitely sew these off if you prefer. I just knot mine a couple times and they're usually pretty good and I don't have any issues. But, so I'm going to take that, knot it over itself, pull that tight, and I usually just do a second knot just to be safe. This is how I do my scrunchies too, because sometimes when you sew them, whenever you pull on them, the stitches break on the elastic. Right, so now I'm just going to trim those, and then we can flip that right side out. And then you just want to evenly space out your little ruffle on the top, like so. And now we can just put it on top of our goose. Okay, I'm gonna find my front, what I want to be my front, and I'm gonna put this cute little bunny right in the front. Right on top of my goose. There we go. Alright, so there is the dress. Now we're gonna finish off the bow. Okay, so here we have the bow shell that we've done. I usually like to use a hemostat tool for turning these, but I don't have one here, so I'm just going to use this chopstick that I got out of our kitchen. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of feed it through itself a little bit, get it started, and then poke that through with my chopstick. Don't use a pencil or your scissors. See, look, right here, I didn't stitch my back stitch on my corner. So my chopstick went all the way through. But that's okay. I'm not too worried about it on this project. But just make sure that you are back stitching on those corners. Same thing for this side. Feed it through. Poke out those corners. Perfect. Here, you can choose to leave it open, or you can do a little top stitch, or a little whip stitch, hand stitch if you don't want it to show. But I do this hole right in the middle so that whenever I tie the bow, you can't see it. So here I have an elastic for the goose's head. I'm just going to measure that real quick, make sure that that's good. Looks good here. Now I'm going to do the same thing like I did for the other one. I'm just going to tie it over itself and pull tight. Now I can take my bow, slip that right through the middle. I like to press these, but you don't have to. Then you're going to put it right in the middle and tie your bow just like you tie your shoes. Then you can pull, make this bow lay flat exactly how you want it. I like to pull mine really tight and then get it going. Okay, now I'm going to push that knot back to the back of my bow. Those extras. You can even tuck this in if you want, but most of the time it doesn't show. So now I have a cute little bow to go on top of my goose. Alright, so there you have it. Here is our final outfit. I'm going to put the bow on the goose and let it shine. She looks super cute, ready for her porch. Super cute Tula fabric. Again, it only takes half a yard, and you can usually get one outfit, 2 bows out of half a yard. And then if you have a full yard, you can get 2 outfits with extra bows. So that's what I did here. I hope this helps. I hope you love this. If you want to see more projects like this, please let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe if you want to see more. Happy sewing.